guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft GA Stadium's hurling predictions video. So, we're into our second weekend of the hurling, so let's jump right in. So, our first game of the weekend is Leitrim versus Lancashire. Leitrim won last weekend. Lancashire did not actually play last weekend due to there being an odd number of teams in the divisions. So, this is Lancashire's first game, Leitrim's second. Leitrim are currently sitting top of the table, so the advantage is definitely with them. And I think it'll stay that way. I think Leitrim are probably one of the stronger teams in the division, so I'm going with Leitrim, and I'm going to say by 4 points. I think they'll just be too strong for Lancashire, so Leitrim to win by 4 points. Up next is Cavan versus Warwickshire. Cavan won last weekend, Warwickshire lost, so the advantage is sitting with Cavan, and I think it'll stay that way. I reckon it's going to be the same as the last game. I think a 4-point victory. I think Cavan will just be too strong for Warwickshire, so Cavan to win by 4 points. Up next we have Armagh versus Monaghan. There's a battle for top of the table. Bolton winning last weekend, so should be a close enough one. But I'm going to stick with Armagh on this one. I'm going to say by 2 points. I think they'll just edge them out. So Armagh to win by 2 points. So up next we have Limerick versus Clare. Clare won last week, Limerick lost, so the advantage is sitting with Clare. They're sitting top of the table, Limerick are kind of sitting mid-table, so it's... But Limerick could make a comeback. But I think I'm going to stick with Clare on this one, and I'm going to say by 2 points. I think it'll be a very tight win. But Clare to win by 2 points. And our final game on Saturday is Laois versus Waterford. Waterford only got a draw last week. Laois lost, and lost pretty bad, and I think Waterford were unlucky to only get the draw. They definitely could have won it. So I think it's definitely going to be in their favour. I'm going to say by 12 points. I think Laois they're the weakest team in Group B at the minute, so Waterford to win by 12 points. And our first game on Sunday is Fermanagh versus Mayo. Fermanagh lost last weekend. Mayo managed to get a draw, so this should be a pretty close game. But I think in this one I'm going to go with Mayo. I think they're probably just a little bit stronger, and I'm going to say by 3 points. I think they'll just manage to get it over Fermanagh in the end. So Mayo to win by 3 points. Up next we have Roscommon versus Louth. Roscommon only got a draw last week. Louth lost, so going to be a tough one. But I think Roscommon are probably a bit better than Louth, so I'm going to go with Roscommon on this. I'm going to say by 3 points. I think it'll be close enough, but Roscommon will get it in the end. So Roscommon to win by 3 points. Up next we have Sligo versus Meath. Sligo lost last weekend, Meath won, and they're currently sitting top of the table, so I think the advantage is definitely with Meath. I think they were unlucky to come down out of 2A last year, so I think it's definitely sitting with Meath. I'm going to say by 5 points. I think they'll just be too strong for Sligo, so Meath to win by 5 points. Up next we have Wicklow versus Tyrone. Tyrone won last week, Wicklow lost. So I think the advantage is definitely with Tyrone. I think they're definitely a decent enough team. I think they'll be too good for Wicklow. I'm going to say by 3 points. I think they'll just be a bit too good for Wicklow, so Tyrone to win by 3 points. Up next we have London versus Donegal. Donegal won last weekend, London lost. London are kind of sitting mid-table, Donegal are second, so could be fairly 50-50, I think. But I think Donegal are definitely a team in contention for getting promoted. So I'm going to stick with Donegal, and I'm going to say by 2 points. I think London could probably put it up to them, but Donegal will get it in the end. So Donegal to win by 2 points. Up next we have Kildare versus Down. Kildare won last week, Down lost. Kildare are currently sitting in second, Down are currently in fourth, so they're pretty close to each other. So it should be a close enough one. Down were very close to getting promoted last year, so this could be a turnaround game for them. So I think I'm going to go with Down on this one, and I'm going to say by 4 points. I think they'll definitely give Kildare a run, so Down to win by 4 points. Up next we have Kerry versus Carlow. Kerry won last week, Carlow lost. At complete opposite ends of the table, Kerry are in first, Carlow are in sixth. So I think the advantage is definitely with Kerry, who I think they're really coming up in the hurling. They're just waiting for that moment where they can get themselves up into the very top of the divisions. So I'm definitely going with Kerry on this one, and I'm going to say by 6 points. I think they'll just be too strong for Carlow. So Kerry to win by 6 points. Up next we have Offaly versus Derry. Offaly won last week, Derry lost, but I think this will be a pretty close game regardless. I'm still going to stick with Offaly on this one. I think they're, along with Kerry, they're probably the strongest team in the division. And I'm going to say by 3 points. I think we're definitely looking at an Offaly-Kerry final for the division, so Offaly to win by 3 points. Up next we have Dublin versus Antrim. Dublin only managed to get a draw at Watford last week. Antrim lost to Kilkenny. So this one could be pretty close. Antrim are definitely a strong team at the minute. So I think Antrim would be happy enough with getting the draw if they manage to get one, and Dublin I think will be looking to bounce back from only managing to salvage a draw. So it's going to be a tough one, but I think Dublin are going to win this, and I think they're going to get it by 2 points in the end. I think they'll just outperform Antrim that little bit, so Dublin to win by 2 points. Up next we have Galway versus Cork. Both Galway and Cork won last week, so this should be a fairly even game. Galway had a bit of a better win than Cork. Cork had it a bit tougher, it was a bit tighter, so this could go either way still. But I think Cork will probably just pull it out of the bag in the end, and it'll be very tight. I think they'll get it by 1 point. I think Galway will definitely put it up to them, but Cork will just manage to get it in the end. So Cork to win by 1 point. Up next we have Kilkenny versus Tipperary. So this is a battle for first place in Group B. Both of them won last week. Tip had a bit of an easier win, but I think Kilkenny could be just about there to take them on, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Tip on this. I think Kilkenny are probably still trying to find their footing after Brian Cody leaving. So I'm going to go Tip on this, and I'm going to say by 2 points. I think Kilkenny will really put it up to him, but Tip will just get it in the end. So Tipperary to win by 2 points. And our final game of the weekend is Westmeath versus Wexford. Both of them lost last week, but Westmeath had a worse defeat, so they're sitting bottom of the table, and Wexford are one spot above them. So Westmeath gave Wexford a bit of a scare in the Leinster Championship last year, but I don't think Wexford will make the same mistake twice, especially coming off a loss to Galway. So I think it's definitely with Wexford, and I imagine they'll give Westmeath a pretty good run. So I'm going to say by 6 points. I think Westmeath will try their best to keep up with them, but Wexford will just get away with it in the end. So Wexford to win by 6 points. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for this weekend's hurling. Don't forget to also check out the results coming after the weekend, and also the football predictions and results, which will come for next weekend, as it's having a break this weekend. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you for the next one.